Good evening, ladies. How are you? Very good. We'll be here tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. So. I do too. You did do a good job.
Was it good?
Jerome, you want to turn the lights on?
What's that? Yeah, we will. We'll make sure everyone gets up here.
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Oh, she'll figure it out. Because Jerome's out there.
We'll
He'll
make sure
direct.
they get- We'll make sure.
Well, she see all the cars, not the front. So. Nope. Sun's perfect, and there's the lights. He has good news. He has benign tumor on his liver, and then he went right into a gallbladder. So they had to remove his clearance. Well, he had a mass. I don't know. They had to do a biopsy. It was benign. Yep. And then he had a gallbladder out. All right, let's see if this is going to go. We'll begin in a couple minutes. Just want to see. Okay. You got two more? Barbara and Kathy. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. I know, so pretty.
Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to our courtyard, to our sukkah. I'll turn the camera around to let everybody see the sukkah in a little bit. Welcome to Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. We are praying out of Sidor Lev Shalem. And because it is the first day of Sukkot, there is no Kabbalat Shabbat, so the service is a little bit shorter. And we will begin today's service on page 27. And we join responsibly. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and now shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadik tamar yifrach, ki erez balvanon yiske shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva tishenim verananim yiyu lehagi ki yashar Adonai Suri V'lo avlatabo. Page 29. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, you are eternal. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. We'll continue directly with Ma'ariv. I ask everyone to please rise. Turn to page 39a for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Avoed. You may be seated. Baruch Atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. O Mahavir Yom, Mevi Laila, Mavdil Ben Yom Vein Laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayim Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Lam Vohed. Baruch Atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim. Page 40. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah Mitzvot Chukim Mishpatim Otanu Limadta Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shachveinu V'kumeinu Nasiach Bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam voed Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu Uva'em nege yomam v'layla V'yavetecha tasim mimenu la'olamim Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ho'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Al Levavecha V'shinanatam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shivtecha B'veitecha V'lechtecha V'derech Uv'shachpecha V'kumecha Ukshartam Liot Al Yadecha V'hayu Latotafot B'neinecha Uchtabtam Nam Zuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha V'haya Im Shamoa Tishme'u Metzata Asher Anochi Metzavetechem Yam Yavai. Vayomer Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Bnei Yisrael V'yamarta Lehem V'yasu Lehem Tzitzit Al Kanfei V'gdehem L'doratam V'natnu Al Tzitzit Takana Patil Techelet V'haya Lachem L'tzitzit Uritem Oto Uzkartem Et Kol Mitzvot Adonai V'asitem Otam V'lo tatu acharei levavchem v'acharei nechem asher tem zonim achareihem leman tizgaru v'asitem net kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etechem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Ehemet, page 43a. This is our enduring affirmation binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh, offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided waters of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depth, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Page 44. U'malchuto b'ratzon kibaleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'vnei Yisrael chanishira b'simcha rabba v'yamaru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh Nahora Tehilot O Seifele Malchutecha Ruvenecha Bokeyam Lifnei Moshe Zeli Anu V'yameru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Voed V'nehemar Kifad Adonai Et Yaakov Ugalod Miat Chazak Mimenu Baruch Et Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 45. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Ve'hamideinu Malkeinu Lechayim Ufaros Aleinu Sukat Shalomecha V'tagnenu B'yetza Tova Milfanecha Ve'hoshienu Leman Shemecha Agem Adenu Ushmotzeitenu Ve'en L'chaim Ushlam Yatavi Olam Ufoselenu Sukat Shlomecha Baruch Et Adonai Haporet Sukkot Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Page 46, we rise for Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Vayedaber Moshe et modei Adonai el bnei Yisrael. We continue with the silent Amidah, pages 47 through 52. When you're finished, you may be seated. So again, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach to everyone. This is the first night of Sukkot, and I decided to just drag all my electronics out here, and we're going to do services here in the Sukkah, just like we're going to do tomorrow morning and Sunday morning, and next Friday night is Pray in Pink, so we'll be out here again. Next week we really have a treat. Cantor Neil Schwartz will be with us, and he will help bring in the spirit of the holiday with beautiful cantorial music. And he'll also be here for the very next night, which is Simchat Torah and our cabbage dinner. I saw Dina today, and she proudly told me that she was among those who prepared the cabbage rolls this year. She was really happy about that. So, and I'm thrilled that she got involved in that. Really thrilled. We all had an interesting evening last night. I don't know if you saw the Federation announcement, but there was a Jewish musical group that came through Montgomery. They were at the Whitewater Park. The name is Nefesh Mountain. And they were absolutely, it was just a perfect setting, and they were just incredible. I've met them before. It's a husband and wife band, and they were just incredible. I just really enjoyed that. I was just thinking of Adina because we went out to that together. So here we are. We're on the festival of Sukkot. We are commanded to dwell in these temporary huts. Let me take my cam just so people in line can kind of see. Here's our sukkah, and here's our guests. This is our synagogue's sukkah. It's really, really beautiful. Thanks to Barbara and Emily, and Ira and Ramona, and Marcia, and Chris, and whoever else helped. It's just beautiful. It really is really beautiful. And like I said, we'll be out here tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, and then we'll be out here again for Pray in Pink next Friday night. So in the festival of Sukkot, we're commanded to dwell in temporary huts so as to remember, as God explains, that I made the Israelite people live in Sukkot when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. That's a problem with that door. Every time it opens, we know somebody came in. That's why I put a chair in front of the door so it wouldn't do that. That I made the Israelite people live in Sukkot when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. In a famous rabbinic debate, Rabbi Eliezer explains that the term Sukkot is a reference to actual huts that the Israelites dwelled in, and thus we are supposed to dwell in huts as well. In contrast, Rabbi Akiva maintains that Sukkot are a reference to the clouds of God's glory that guided the Israelites by day through the wilderness wandering. The debate between these two sages has the potential to transform our understanding not just of the physical structure in which we dwell on the festival of Sukkot, but also on the nature and significance of the festival itself. Why might Rabbi Akiva understand Sukkot as a reference to the clouds of glory? Throughout the Bible, the term Sukkot is often used, but poetically, to refer to a cloud covering associated with the divine presence, rather than a physical structure. The book of Psalms teaches that when God manifested, he made darkness his screen, dark thunderheads, dense clouds of sky were his sukkah around him. Isaiah prophesies that one day a cloud will hover over Zion and serve as a sukkah for shade and shelter. Job asks, can one contemplate the expanse of clouds, the thundering of God's sukkah? Come on in. Come on in. Moreover, as a contemporary Talmud scholar, Jeffrey Rubinstein points out, cute. The pillar of cloud is first mentioned in the Bible at a place called Sukkot. There's an actual place called Sukkot. The Israelites set out from Sukkot and encamped at Etam on the edge of the wilderness. The Lord went before them in a pillar of cloud. The juxtaposition of Sukkot with the pillar of cloud may have suggested to Rabbi Akiva that the Sukkot in which God made the Israelites dwell were in fact the sheltering cloud of the divine presence. In rabbinic literature, the clouds of God's glory are associated with divine love and protection. The Tosefta teaches that the clouds protected the Israelites from the various dangers they might encounter along their journey through the wilderness. Snakes, scorpions, and uneven terrain. According to the Mechilta, the clouds also served to intercept the stones and arrows of the pursuing Egyptians at the Red Sea. The clouds did not only guide the Israelites on their journey through the wilderness, but also ensured their safe passage. According to the Tosefta, there were in fact 7 clouds that surrounded the Israelites on all sides, enveloping them protectively like a swaddled infant. The Midrash, in discussing the clouds, expands upon this image by invoking a parable about a king who takes every precaution to protect his son when they are set about together on a dangerous journey. When robbers attack, he hides his son behind him. When a wolf attacks from the back, he moves his son in front. The Midrash quotes from the book of Hosea to describe the king's relationship with his son, and by extension, the role of the clouds for the Jewish people. I have pampered Ephraim, taking them on my arms like a parent pampering a young child. The clouds of God's glory nurtured and tended to the needs of the Israelites. But the clouds of God's glory are not a constant presence for the wandering Israelites. The Torah teaches that every evening the clouds were replaced by a pillar of fire that guided them by night. The Midrash elaborates that the first time the clouds appeared, the Israelites rejoiced. But then, when night came and the clouds dissipated, they began to weep, perhaps fearing the loss of God's enveloping presence and frightened by the ominous appearance of the pillar of fire. When the clouds reappeared the next morning, the Israelites rejoiced with inordinate joy, regarding the clouds as a sign of God's abundant love for Israel. Aviva Zornberg considers the significance of the impermanence of the clouds in her book on Leviticus, where she cites the Vilna Gaon's claim that the clouds which had first appeared when the Israelites left Egypt had departed when they built the golden calf. The clouds did not return until they began to construct the tabernacle on the 15th of Tishrei, which marks the festival of Sukkot. That's tonight. If we read the Vilna Gaon in light of the Midrash, then Sukkot, the festival known as the time of our rejoicing, in a time of inordinate joy, because it also marks the return of the clouds of glory. The Midrashic debate about whether Sukkot referred to huts or clouds points to 2 different and opposite ways of understanding the holiday. If Sukkot are physical structures, as Rabbi Eliezer maintains, then by dwelling in Sukkot, we experience our own fragility and vulnerability, because look at the roof, it's temporary. If it rains, it's going to come through. We are dependent on God. We realize what it means to expose ourselves to the elements by living in a home whose walls could blow away in the wind and whose roof could be ruined by rain. According to this understanding, the festival of Sukkot is about recognizing what it means to forfeit the stability and comfort we experience when we dwell in our more permanent homes. On the other hand, if Sukkot referred to the clouds of God's glory, as Rabbi Akiva maintains, then by dwelling in Sukkot, we can come closest to the experience of being held and embraced by God in a relationship of tremendous intimacy. The Israelites did not always feel enveloped by God. The clouds came and went at various points in their wilderness journey. In our own relationships, too, there are times when we feel close with the people we love, and other times when we feel ourselves distant, vulnerable, and exposed. The holiday of Sukkot, when the clouds of glory returned, serves to remind us how special and wonderful it is to be held and loved, and how we might aspire to that connection. Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva's debate seems to have conflicting implications for our understanding of the holiday of Sukkot. Is Sukkot about feeling vulnerable and exposed, or about feeling loved and enveloped? Perhaps the answer is both. We dwell in temporary structures to sensitize ourselves to our own vulnerability, thus becoming even more cognizant of the comfort and security we stand to gain from being held in God's loving embrace. With that, I wish you all a Chag Sameach, a Shabbat Shalom, and we will go ahead. And we will go ahead and move to Aleinu. Please rise, page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teit gedula liyotzei b'reshit shelo esanu k'goyei ha'aratzot v'lo samanu k'mishmachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gohor aleinu k'chol hamonam ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגלבי נרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אלא זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום השבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד על כן. כתוב בתורתך, אדוני מלך לעולם ועד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. This week we will observe yard sites for William Goodman, Marion Sophie Abrams, Ida Drower, Irving Freeling, Nathan Friedlander, Marion Hornsby, Molly Ross, Abraham Perlman, Mayor J. Piha, Matilda F. Cohen, Morris S. Russo, Idella Dana, Samuel Center, Prosper Ziri, Harry Berlin, Roka N. Hannon, and Samuel Shindown. Those observing yard site and those who mourn, please rise and join me, page 58, for the Kadisha Tome, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba v'yomad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agalav izman kariv v'mahu amen yehei shmei rabbam nevarach le'olam momel maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudisha barichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran v'yoma v'yimaru amen Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael V'mahu Amen, Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imahu Amen. You may be seated. We turn to page 59, and we recite the psalm for the season of repentance, Psalm 27. The Psalm of David. Adonai is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? Adonai is a stronghold of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evil people assail me to devour my flesh, my enemies, and those who besiege me, it is they who stumble and fall. Should an armed camp be arrayed against me, my heart would show no fear. If they were to go to war against me, of this I would be sure. One thing I ask of Adonai, this is what I seek, to dwell in the house of God all the days of my life, to behold God's peacefulness and to pray in God's sanctuary. In a time of calamity, you would hide me in your sukkah and fold me in the secret recesses of your tent, and you raise me up to a stronghold. Now my head is raised high above my enemies round about, and I come with offerings amidst trumpet blasts to God's tent, chanting and singing praise to Adonai. Adonai, hear my voice as I cry out. Be gracious to me and answer me. It is you to whom my heart said, seek my face. It is your presence I seek, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not act with anger toward me. You have always been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, my God and my deliverer. Though my father and mother abandon me, Adonai will gather me in. Show me your way, Adonai, and lead me on a straight path, despite those arrayed against me. Do not hand me over to those who besiege me, for false witnesses who breathe hatred have risen against me. If only I would trust that I would see God's goodness in the land of the living. Place your hope in Adonai. Be strong and take courage, and place your hope in Adonai. So, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. I'm so glad that you all have joined me this evening. We have a nice oneg that Jerome has brought out for us. So please stay and enjoy the sukkah. Enjoy being surrounded by the divine presence and by each other. Tomorrow, first day of Sukkot services will be at 9:30 a.m. And Sunday we'll have the second day of Sukkot services at 9:30 a.m. Sunday we'll be able to take the lulav and etrog, which we don't take on Shabbat, but we will be able to take and shake them on Sunday morning. I will be starting a new class on Monday, October 9th at 6 p.m. This will be an introduction to Judaism class based on the Miller Introduction to Judaism program in Los Angeles at the school that I was ordained at. I already have 4 people signed up for the class. This is not necessarily a class for those seeking conversion to Judaism. It's for anybody. Those born Jews, Jews by choice, it's for anybody. So if you would like to just come and explore Judaism in some depth, please join us. We'll do it Monday nights beginning October 9th at 6 p.m. With that, let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Next Friday night, we will have our Pray in Pink here in our sukkah. And the next Saturday night, will be Simchat Torah, where we get to enjoy dancing with the Torahs as well as eating a fantastic dinner of stuffed cabbage. And we also will enjoy Cantor Neil Schwartz will be here with us next weekend, so we'll have beautiful cantorial music with us as well. So we'll go ahead and complete tonight's service with Yigdal, page 62. Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach נמצא ויענד אל מציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, ירא גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, היד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יחליף אוהל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומר לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרישתו, ישלח לקץ שמין משיחנו, לפתות מחכה קץ ישועתו, מתים יחיה אל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו, מתים יחיה אל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. שבת שלום, חג שמח. Keep going. We should all bring our dogs. I wouldn't dare bring them. She would hound us. Let's see. Bring some of this food out so we can have it.
Thank you.
Yes.